Yeah, I choked on my own breath. That's horrible. Hey, what's up? It's another Mix It Up Reactions. I'm your host, Joel Hawkins. And of course, as always, with my buddy,
Hey, Jones.
Edie McEaterton.
That's right. I get hungry.
I know.
Be here for a while. It's always lunchtime.
I know. But today's it's all been V week. This whole week's been V week. But today we're doing something special. Now, I gave you a hint. Jazz. I don't know. We're going to be doing Le Jazz de Vie. And today's video is sponsored in part. Good God. It's horrible.
You get mine?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. You got it.
By Liquid Death.
This will be the last video.
It's mountain water in a can. So cans are more recyclable, better for the environment. Most plastic bottles that are floating in the ocean are mostly water bottles or Coke bottles or whatever else. Yeah. But they don't actually sponsor us. I'm trying to make them sponsor us by showing that we like their stuff. We do like it. I just bought 2 cases of this. I just wish there was like more of it, because like stores are starting to stock it, but they're not stocking it like enough of it, you know? Yeah. I wish they would stock it more. And they've got a whole bunch of new flavors too. They've got like carbonated water, which is cool because I miss the carbonation. It's the only thing that keeps me from drinking 37 sodas a day. And then they have like a lime version and like a cherry version and stuff. It's like trippy. I haven't tried the cherry version yet. I'm pretty sure if that's carbonated and cherry, just might as well call it soda. But I mean, it's still water. It's probably going to have that, you know, here's your water. Like that's most of those. That's the way they are. But because you can't put sugary syrup, then it would just be soda at that point. But yeah. So sponsor us, Liquid Death. Please. We have international appeal. Kind of.
That part is true though.
Well, when we do BTS videos or K-pop, I know. But
it's on the page.
We're still trying to break into the U.S. market, even though we live in the friggin' U.S.
Damn Americans.
Yep. So today we're going to be checking out day number 4 of V-Week. And we're going to be checking out Le Jazz de Vie. That just sounds like a sassy name. 2023 BTS Festa. I didn't see that part. Live clip. Okay. Oh, it's live. I thought it was recorded. Okay, let's check it out.
Find out together.
Oh, it is live, yeah. What? It's a Christmas song.
It's beginning to look a lot
in
like
English.
Christmas. Everywhere you go.
He's got a smooth voice.
Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again.
I hear the
candy canes and silver lamps that glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys are in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hopalong boots and a pistol that shows it's the wish your bunny and Ben. Those that are talking a car for the work is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Key change. Nice.
Everywhere you go, there's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well. It's the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that I'm making me is the carol that can't you see right within your heart?
Man. It's not just one song though.
감사합니다. Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I seek when we're all together dancing cheek to cheek. Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I seek when we're all together dancing cheek to cheek. Climb a mountain and reach the highest peak, but it doesn't thrill me half as much as dancing cheek to cheek.
Oh, I love to go out fishing in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek.
Dance with me, I want my arms about you, the charms about you, we carry me through heaven. I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I see when we're all together dancing cheek to cheek. And reach the highest peak, but it doesn't thrill me half as much as dancing cheek to cheek.
Oh, I love to go out fishing in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek.
Dance with me, I want my arms about you, the charms about you, we carry me through heaven. happiness I see. When we're out together, dancing cheek to cheek. Out together, dancing cheek to cheek.
He's my favorite artist now.
Yeah. Because there's very few people who will take a standard like that and then give it a little bit of a jazz arrangement twist, a couple key changes, maybe a little bit of vibrato, maybe play with it a little bit. Like even when they were scatting, like she was on her scatting skill, like she was following that guitar note for note for note for note. Like that's impressive. Now I know they probably practiced and she knew what notes he was going to and she followed it, but oh man, heaven, I'm in heaven. That's one of my favorite songs, Cheek to Cheek. I liked the way Frank did it. I've heard Dean Martin do it. I've actually heard any people do it that people would. I mean, Harry Connick Jr. did a great job. Michael Bublé, probably one of the best ones because his voice is so freaking smooth and he has that mix between like old school standard and Vegas standard, you know? But yeah, V, do a whole album of that stuff. Yeah. Do standards. Oh.
And their voices went really well together.
Yeah. Dude, really do Strangelove. Do what's a good one? Strange Fruit would be a good one. That was Nina Simone. Would be another good one. My Way, that would be a good one. That's a Frank Sinatra. Well, I think that's the thing back in those days. Like a writer would write a song, the first initial artist would play it, and then every other artist would end up playing that song and doing their own little twist. I don't think intellectual property existed then.
No. I like that song. I would sing it too. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think until it did the whole, I think it was when the racial crossover happened and they noticed a lot of white artists were stealing, you know, black artist music and using it as their own and passing it off as their own, like Beach Boys. And, you know, because that happened with Cadillac Records and all that stuff. So I think that's when everybody was like, we need to put some rights on this stuff so people know. Because there was a lot of people claiming they wrote some stuff that they did not write. At least Frank was honest. At least Sammy was honest, and Dean was honest, and Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday and Bing Crosby, and they weren't trying to claim they wrote anything. They were like, "Oh, this was written by the great blah 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 blah," you know. But heaven, I'm in heaven.
You were saying earlier or other day, you were like, man, you know, give me some happy vibes.
Oh,
happy
that's
moves.
a happy vibe, yeah.
I know. Could you still sing it?
Dancing through the. He had a great falsetto, great control. He had that great timbre that you need for something with a lower, I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
So he's able to pull that off because if you heard other people, it's very hard. Like you'll notice when they have to do a key change so it fits their vocal pattern because it's too low for them. So they'll actually lower the whole song so that it sounds like it's actually being played lower. It's not, or not lower the whole song, raise the whole song. Yeah. In key change so that when they go low, it's not actually low for them. Like, I'm in heaven. So you just change it and raise it and cheat. I'm in heaven. You know when they do that thing. He did it too. He did the cutoff thing, which was very popular, which was like, weak. Like he did that whole thing and he cut it off. You know, she did it too. But it doesn't say on here what her name is. You guys throw it in the comments just so I know. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, completely different from the BTS and hell, even the other stuff that we listened to this week.
Even his other songs. Yeah.
Completely different.
Vastly different.
So like all jazz and like, wait, scat?
It was a Christmas song. It was a Christmas song and then a 50s pop standard. I mean, it was I don't know what Festa is. I kind of want to know. Do they have like other artists on there that do just crazy stuff that's outside of what they normally do? Because I'm curious. 10th anniversary.
Now you gotta look it up.
Now I gotta look it up because that was super dope. I mean, his vocal tone was so good, but his control on his falsetto. And when she came in, it just added another layer to it on that song. Like the first song was great, which when he was doing that, by the way, V, I'm proud of you for doing it in English, man. I know English is the dumbest freaking language in the world because like, dude,
Shit don't make sense.
I've seen Finnish people have difficulty understanding. Our own American people have difficulty understanding why certain things are the way they are.
Yeah, just memorize it.
It's just funny to me though. Like they're right. I mean, it's like we have a f sound, but then we have half our words are like ph is f. It's like you have an F. Why do you need a ph? Well, it doesn't look professional enough.
It's physics, okay? That's why.
Yeah, it's like you have profit, P-R-O-F-I-T, profit, P-R-O-P-H-E-T.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Completely.
Same word, technically. So yes, I do understand that English is a difficult language.
And that's profit. Yeah.
But it's still, if you say
it's
it,
dumb as hell.
If you say it quick, it sounds the same. Profit.
Yeah.
Because no one goes profit.
Yeah. You know, having kids and trying to teach them how to read and like, why? Why doesn't it sound like this? There's no reason why it's American. That's why.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
I mean, I've heard people say that Mandarin's hard to learn. Cantonese is hard to learn. And then but a lot of the people I know from other countries, and I have friends who are from, Venezuela, I have friends from Colombia, I have friends from Canada, they speak English. Some of them, French Canadian. There's a difference. Well, suit down there. Can't believe he called me that. But he said it meant dirty toilet. I was like, don't call me dirty toilet. That's a weird thing to call me. But it probably means something way worse. Y'all tell me.
That's not what it means.
But that's what he would yell at me. So thank you, Colby. But so I've had friends who are from Japan. I've had friends like Mossy, he's told me all the time. He's like, dude, learning English was very difficult. He said, honestly, the thing that helped the most was watching TV shows. I was like, really? And he goes, yeah, because I could see how you're actively using these words. And he said, depending on your culture, it was also vastly different too. Because he said, I tried to learn English the first 3 months by watching Martin and Family Matters. And he said, I was very confused by the end of that. And then he said, I watched Full House. And then he said, I was like, you watching a lot of sitcoms. He goes, that's the only thing playing at that time. I was like, you were learning English in the 80s and 90s. Okay, that makes sense now. He was like, he learned English by watching MASH. He learned English by watching, he learned how it's said properly. Instead of, because he said, again, these words are difficult. They mean different things, yet sound exactly the same. It's super dumb.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
language for it.
I mean, that's the English language. I mean, technically the English language is essentially 55,000 different countries of language kind of shoved together. I mean, you got Greek and Latin parts are put in different parts, and some of them are prefixes and suffixes. It's like, why? And then you've got words that have such a multi-use, like curse words have such multi-usage.
Oh yeah.
Like there was that comedian, that Finnish comedian, can't remember his name, but he was like, shit, it's an adjective. And he goes through the entire thing of what you can use it for and the different possibilities and the severity you can use that word through. And I'm like, I've never thought about that. And he is completely 100% right. But there's a lot of stuff that's weird. But then if somebody goes over to certain parts of Scandinavia, Norway, and things like Reykjavik, when I saw the sign for that, I didn't know how to read that. That was a lot of letters shoved into one word. Reykjavik. Oi. But it's just different perspectives, But it's nice. It's good to learn a new language. And V did a fantastic job because there wasn't one word I had any confusion about what he was saying. But yeah, he did a great job. He did a fantastic job. And he had one of those cool inner ears. I always wanted one of those because I had the ones that were just normal Shure ones that invade your brain by going through your eardrum. Like, I did not like those, dude, because if you move a certain way and that wire catches something and it's like, it feels like inside your ear someone's taking a finger and going, hey, I'm gonna turn. Like, it's just a bad feeling, man. Even with it going over the back of the ear, it will tug and you'll be like, you could have it rolling behind your back in your shirt, and then somehow it catches on a screw on a guitar rig and you're like, I had that happen a couple different times. You would think it rips right out of your ear, but it has a casing around it so it doesn't do that. So instead, you just look like you had a seizure on stage. It's the dumbest thing. Then they made wireless ones after I quit the music industry, and I was like, great. Like wireless ones that weren't crap. There were wireless ones, but they sucked. Like you'd walk in front of your bass player and the UHF would shut off and you'd be like, can't hear anything. Step a foot to your left. Oh, well, that's dumb. Just stand right in front of the stage, in front of the speakers, never move. Now you guys know why I did that. So I could hear. Anyway, so you guys have an awesome day today. Be proud of yourselves for being that awesome. And
should we give him a hand clap?
Yeah. I thought there was a clap. I think it's called applause. There you go. That's fine. You're winners. Anyways, hey, maybe Army do us a favor and I don't know, send a bunch of messages to V's pages and social media saying, hey, make an entire album of this stuff.
Force him to do it.
I know most of you don't really care. You want normal stuff, but I don't, please help me make that album happen. I would love to write with V. That would be dope. I think he'd be fun because it'd be like, what do you want to do? Anything's possible. Do old school shit. Do new school with old school shit. Let's try new school shit and then sprinkle in some old school. I'd be like, V, you're awesome. Thanks, bud. But yeah, go do something nice today. Give someone a high five or, you know, money
or some liquid death.
Or some liquid death. Yes.
Yeah,
brought to you by Liquid Death. It's mountain water. It tastes amazing. No, it really does. I wish there was more of it in stores. I bought 2 cases and that person looked at me like I was crazy. Because half the people don't ASMR stuff. Like half the people don't know what it is. They think it's beer. Or they think it's some like energy drink. I'm like, it's not. It's water.
This, when we were in the 90s, brown paper bag.
Yeah.
I'd have been chugging water forever.
Yeah, that's super true. Because then you could have been cool with your friends and been like, yeah, I'm drinking a beer. Yeah. Look at H.G's so cool. He's drinking beer.
He's drinking Liquid Death. Man, he's great over
Is
there.
he like 9? Yeah. No, it's a dope can of water, man. I mean, when it first came out, the only reason I found out about it was Bert Kreischer. And I was like, I'll try it out. Because he said it was water. And I was like, Bert, don't drink water. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it out. And I was like, oh my goodness, this actually tastes really good. Because water is water, true. But like smart water makes my eyes dry out, which is weird.
There's one water brand that tastes like crap. I don't want to say it because, you know.
I love Fiji. Let's not say it's that.
It's not them.
Okay. I love Fiji water. That stuff's good. I like the box shape because it doesn't roll. Make it small enough to fit in a cup holder, but it doesn't roll. Do you know how painfully annoying that is when you have a water bottle and it goes clunk, clunk, and just rolls away from you? I know you're probably thinking, Joel, don't be places uneven. Well, it's hilly here. I like the top of a hill. There's more breeze. The valleys suck. It gets hot. I mean, hell, it was nighttime and it was 100 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Last night. That was insane.
That's the rest of the summer. Hot. And because it's so hot, you should have some Liquid
Death. Brought to you by Liquid Death. Murder your thirst. That is perfect. I didn't even notice that part. I'm going to be horrible. Need a portion of the profits. Every can sold to help kill plastic pollution. That's why they're creating it. Okay. You guys rock. Infinitely recyclable. Yeah, cans have always been. Man, that stuff is good. What? I don't do the...